All right, we're back. Windy. Um. Okay, so we got our goblin crew. What we'd like to think about is what they need for armor. What do they need for armor? Then we'll start with the big guy. Right. Swap them. Great timing. I just watched your VODs a little and got a question. Well, welcome back, Electra. What's your question? Close that. Whoa. Right in his butt crack. That's funny. Okay, so I need some water. In a second. You were using height maps in Substance Painter. Are those translating to normals in the end, or does the engine you are using need to support height maps through tessellation? I imagine. Um, Two things. First is yes, it is getting translated into normals. So Substance Painter just does that automatically, and it looks pretty good. So you don't require a height map. But in Unity, if you use a height map, it's going to do something called parallax mapping. So it doesn't tessellate, but it will imply depth through a height map. Sometimes I've had a hard time getting that to look correctly, but you also could use it with tessellation eventually. So, um, bit of a yes and no to all of those points. So this should be the Gobbo, and this should be the Ogre. So I'm thinking for the Goblin. Hello, Snardom. Welcome back. For the Goblin, we'll do... So I'm creating Unreal Engine models. I can just use the height channel without worrying too much that it won't show in the end, correct? I don't believe you require a height channel. In fact, what goes into a shader is entirely custom. There's a lot of Unreal Engine games that only do like toon shading, and that way they're only using one texture. Um, so it depends on the final look you're going for, but I don't think it's required. I have like a little skull here. necklace. Like bones and teeth and stuff. Then a dagger of some sort. This. Sure. I like that. And for the ogre, he's quite a bit bigger, so I think we'll have like a thick cord, rib bones, maybe like 2 skulls. That. Just joined in height maps, as in bump maps in Blender or displacement maps for vertex displacement. Not familiar with the Substance Painter lingo. They're not something I've used that often. Electro is just curious what's necessary for kind of a texture, full texture. Sorry, I think I need to rephrase my question. Substance can translate height channels to normals, correct? Correct. So working with height channel and Painter seems easier for me to get details in compared to working only with normal channels. Yes, if I want like normal details, I generally just do it through height. It's much simpler. I only use normal maps if there's like a specific decal I've created, like the top of a screw head or a bolt or something like that. And I'm like packing those into to a larger. I'm packaging those all together or something like that. Absolutely, absolutely. And I think we will give him a big old club. Smashy. Smashy smash. What? Excuse me. Also, you mentioned D&D and Resonate on Friday. Are you doing it on stream? Yes. Yes, I will be. If you have Resonate, then you'll be able to join. If not, you can watch. Hopefully the server doesn't get overwhelmed. I don't think it will, but I suppose you never know. Everybody free to join. I assume maybe it's a chance for me to check out Resonate. I would definitely recommend checking it out. It's super interesting. There's just a lot that you can do with it. All right, we'll do something like that for him. that. And then I should think about the weapon. So they'll have very simple blade. Very rough hewn blade. Probably a bit smaller than that. And then I'll want to give them blade, a bow. I'm probably not going to work on these things today because it's quite a bit of work. Bow. We already have some of these items too, thanks to people who have contributed. How long did it take for you to get your first VR model ready in Resonite? Thinking about using my own. It's not too difficult of a setup, besides for the fact that you're doing all of the setup in VR. So that takes a little bit of getting used to. But generally it took me like, I think you can be a little, if you don't mind, just it's not too hard to begin to reset it up from scratch. So I would suggest just kind of be okay with breaking it the first few times, because it's, once you get the hang of it, it's pretty easy to go back and set it up again. All right. We're going to do that, and now we're going to work on some of these weapons in the new scene. Save this here. And we'll call this Goblin Armor Weapons, or Goblin, yeah, Armor. Hello, Namers, welcome back. Welcome. So this is the size of the goblin. Then a sword. Probably be, that's probably right about the right size for a sword. Then for the club, it's quite big. Go right about there. We also need a skull. Skull should be probably right about there. And then what else? Probably good. We will need some fabric, which I'll make as a cylinder. And when are you guys planning to start? I am joining from Germany. So I'll probably be hopping to Resonite in about within the hour, but we're just going to be working, so it's not really the D&D stream. Tomorrow I'm hoping to be in at right around this time. So in the afternoon my time. So my second stream for the day will be all in Resonite doing D&D and figuring that out. Gonna be the skull. just kind of winging this one. I'm just kind of winging it. So I think this should be enough though. Right about here. Can't be touching. Can't be touching. Why did I have the brilliant idea to re-rig in 4.1? Someone slap me. That does sound like quite a bit of work. All right, so now I can mirror and before anything else happens, let's unwrap. Muscle memory has to be fighting pretty hard. You're working on UVs yesterday. Can I ask them why you put the way they are in the weird quadratic form? I prefer making UV maps very square, because it's in my eyes, it's just easier to work with. So for example, right now I'm unwrapping the skull, and if I want to lay it flat, Sam pixels sitting in a tree. Give me them pixels. Forces the texture to follow the flow of the topology. That's a very good way to put it. Not always like the most ideal unwrap, but it works pretty well for the most part. And then as well, having it be square aligns it with the pixel grid better, because one thing that's kind of understated is that you are working with a grid. So I find it a lot easier to line things up when what I'm doing reflects that. This should separate right here. I think I'm missing an inside one. Yes. There we go. All right. As you can see, I took this shape and I'm able to lay it out in a very flat way, which, again, just very useful for straightening things, making the most of your UV space. In fact, I'm probably going to redo this again. Get rid of the cuts on the top. There we go. Really struggle doing it with hands, Lamau. If your UVs have empty spots, your GPU will tell you, why are you making me memorize empty shit? It will sound something like a spinning fan. Rough translation. So right click straighten seems to be nice. To be honest, I never put that much thought into my UV, which probably bites me in the future, lol. I have found that it does seem to help me make the most of the work I'm doing. But that being said, there are a lot of techniques to just avoid UV mapping altogether. Things like projecting, using gradients, things like that. Not always the best way to approach it, but it's not too bad. I'm gonna clear this one too. That way it straightens out this way. But the reason I'm doing it in this really low poly way now that we've unwrapped that, I can do some fun stuff. So let's make sure these are straightened out. Found pinning and straightening to be super satisfying. Super satisfying. I'll look up a skull. Should make a lower job, but I'll do that in a second. I guess I didn't really need hole here. Done that. Red dots are pinned. Electro. Yes, so those are the pinned ones, and when I have them pinned, and I have live unwrap on, which is available in the drop, things will just, it's just basically just unwrapping every split second, so as fast as it can. So it just kind of updates in real time. It gives you a good idea of what, how it's behaving. Is this playing nice? What changes when I put this here? Yeah, it's one of the more widely used methods for UV work manipulation. I'm kind of spacing out while I'm saying that. Sorry. All right. Okay, so now we have the skull. I'm going to turn on mirror U. And then just make sure it's right in the middle. It's not the middle. There we go. And then Why did I not see that before? Lol, thanks for carrying my Blender new butt, guys. Absolutely. Well, here's the rub when it comes to this kind of work. You don't know what you don't know, which makes it very hard to do things sometimes, because if you don't know it, you just don't know it. Like, don't feel bad, because that's just kind of how it goes with this stuff. All right, so now we can start subdividing. And now that I have made it in a way that I like the UVs, everything's set up in a way I like, means that I can kind of just go ham on sculpting this and feel confident that I'm going to have something that will work in the end. And this is what I just did is the basis of my new workflow. It's going to be my bread and butter. Make a very simple shape that I then sculpt with multi-res into the final version. This is genuinely how I'm going to be working moving forward, because it's just so good. It's better to do the UVs first if you can. So please steal that workflow I just did. If I could give you any wisdom, the workflow I just went through on stream, clip it, save it, and abuse it, because it's the best. Blender cult guidebook, Sam's secrets. Exactly. For example, you can select the outline of your head for your character, UV outline, make it square, while the unpinned inside transforms along, so you get those squished face unwraps you often see in-game textures. Blender tricks are so hot, you probably need an OnlyFans account for that. I'm a Blender exhibitionist. Twitch censor alert. Blender Expo, watch me unwrap. Like that unwrap, don't you? I like those going. Well, thank you. Always fun making skulls. That's what 3D modeling's all about. Skulls for the Skull Lord. I meant chat, but your skull is also going great. Well, thank you. And welcome back, Arctic. Hello, evening. We're making a skull. There's so many little tiny bones here on the inside of this area. Let's keep it a little vague. But look at that, y'all. Like, straight up, I really can't emphasize enough. Throw away any other workflow besides multi-res workflow if you're working with games, for games. It's the only way. It will save you so much time. You can basically just retopologize in the simplest way before you even start sculpting. Did you guys check out Instamesh Image to 3D AI model? The topology is garbage, but I use it a lot to get my proportions right if the result is good enough. It's not a bad way to work. I'm sure those workflows will become a lot more popular as time goes on. Right now, I don't use AI. I like the 3D AIs much. I was thinking of trying to use them for like small props, like I don't know, bread or books or things that kind of I may not want to sit down and make a whole bunch of. Multi-res. So you get your high and low poly out of one sculpt session? Exactly. Exactly. I just started by making this, the cube that has all the holes I want, and you just keep it as a box. And then you just start sculpting away to get the high poly. And worst case scenario, I just bake it as is, and I can make my changes and reformat it as necessary to get back a detailed version. I can always just keep subdividing, add more detail. But yeah, it basically combines your high and low poly workflow. Get high poly results with a low poly workflow. Best thing about it, IMO, it's a modifier, it's fully non-destructive. Agreed. That does allow for a lot of interesting workflows. I hesitated for a long time before exploring it, but before exploring multi-res, but it's worth it. I do wish it didn't switch back to the smaller version when I'm trying to orbit my view, but that's okay. So what mesh are you using in the end? Level 2 viewport with normals? Exactly. Exactly. So right now it's level 2, but I'd probably go down to either this one. If I turn on stats, I could probably get away with this one. This is what it currently looks like at the lowest level. But it's cool because now I've got a bunch of level of detail versions, right? It's like I can go ahead and now I've got my lowest poly version, which is holds up pretty well. This is the and now that I've applied the base, this is my lowest poly version one, and it looks pretty darn good. Oh, no, sorry, no, that's not. This one is. That one looks all rough, but this is my second. This is probably the one I'll add to characters and stuff. Exactly. 100%. LOD central. And it's just free. It just happens to happen when you use this kind of workflow. You're just automatically making that stuff. It's a given, which is so cool. I need to make the skull socket smaller. And we're missing teeth. Probably go ahead and get those in just a second. Yeah, so my general workflow from now on is going to be make a super simple model that's low poly, UV unwrap it, turn it into my sculpture. I'm done. That's it. You are basically just straight up done at that point. It really doesn't get any better than that. I wish to throw that skull at people, and soon you will be able to. I'm falling deeper into the Blender rabbit hole, and I like it. Good. I mean, there really is, for how much digital media I've consumed and do consume, it feels really cool once you're in this position to be like, oh, I can just make whatever I want. There's nothing like that. There's no feeling like that playing a game or doing anything else can give you. Like, if I just put my mind to it, I can make that thing. Turn it up one more. I wish it didn't snap while I moved around or snap to the other view. Wait, this is wrong. An unintended blender hole. Just to expand your all, you probably do it also with geometry nodes. People are doing it with geometry nodes? My God. Depravity. Depravity. Let's turn on this. I'm going to turn on ambient occlusion to 9. Maybe it's better to do a mat cap. I mean, that looks pretty close to a skull. Even if it's not a perfect skull, I'll probably leave it here for that part. And then we'll make a cube. I'm going to take the cube, move it up, move it over. We're going to add a multi-res. Oh, I should unwrap it first. Missing one. This is the way. This is the way. My goodness. And then we'll do some simple subdivisions and then a subdivide. Shade smooth. We've got a little 2 for now. Mirror. Let's actually make a empty, which we'll call underscore mirror. Name. Collection. Hidden. Drop this in there. Hide that. Booth. For some reason, my animation is broken in game. It looks okay in Unity, but half the bones aren't moving as much as they should in game. That could be your rotation limits in your FBX settings for the character. Because if your animation in Blender is moving past the limits you set on your humanoid settings, your FBX settings, that would probably change how it's behaving. Thing is, I had it set up and was just making the walking look smoother. Then on one of the uploads, it started doing that. Interesting. Unity, I have struggled with importing animations into Unity quite frequently. Perhaps that's part of it. That on import, it's doing something weird. I should see a duplicate here. Unless... Gotcha. Hello, Jack. I'm heading off to bed today. Maybe we'll find some time for Resonate help on the tomorrow or the weekend. Just talk to me about it on Discord, whatever you get on. Get on, and I'm around. Sounds good, Jack. Definitely enjoy your day. Thank you for the offer, and hopefully we'll connect soon. Enjoy the rest of your day. Bye, Jack. Just 2 teeth is funny. Just 2 teeth. They should be higher up. they should be right about here. Just have to grab one of my backups and tweak it back to where I had it, I guess. Doing all the animating in Unity itself. Haven't had a look at Blender animations yet. Oh. But then they changed. And you're doing all the animating in Unity. That sounds weird. Hard for me to diagnose. Diagnosis? Unity. God damn you, Unity. God damn you to hell. No, this is fun. I mean, gosh, I'm just working so fast now. It's happening. It's happening. I have a Copilot replacing this fully local for code/chat that should work for Windows too. Definitely not the final thing I want to use, but it works for right now. No rag docs for this one yet. Interesting. What's the name of it? We get rid of the multi-res on this one. And then add it back. So yeah, I can do a full molar. So it's 4. I always forget how many teeth we have. Actually, I'll do Alt D on this one. Pretty sure it's like that. Dude, that's so dope. Wow. Okay. I'm in love with this workflow. Oh. It's just like exactly what I've been wanting. Really, really fast. CodeGPT is the extension in the EXT and VS Code, and you can power it from Ollama. And the Llama 3 Instruct model is not bad for a starter. If you want to get into the weird shit, there's lots more models, but IDK how they play on Windows and Ollama yet. After graduation, I can do some testing. Well, I may lean heavily on you to help me set up the system I'm going to use for some of the NPCs for the D&D stuff here. That's probably going to be my main use of any sort of AI models moving forward. We'll just do the top skull. I might as well make the jawbone if I'm going to make the full skull. Be a waste time to not do it. Nice. Only 2,000 verts. Holy shit. Awesome. Well, yes, no, CodeGPT is just an extension of VS Code, so I would never call anything touching VS Code private, but it's running locally. Iris, just reread your first bit. Yeah. So cool. All right. I'll leave that there. And then very quickly, we'll make the club. So first things first, we'll want even squares, even-ish squares. Take the bottom ones, we'll kind of scale them in. Top ones will scale up. I want to give it like a little branch that's like coming off of it. And then all we need to do is get a sub solidify, set the offset to 0, 5, perfect, apply, take that back, delete that, this, then we'll take this side. That's probably good. Okay. Then we'll unwrap it. Unwrap it. We'll take one corner. Mark the seam, unwrap the whole thing. Good enough. Whoa. Still looking for building a local RAG capable environment for docs so you can just make a second brain of MD notes and query it with the model. I would love... Ollama is such a great tool. It makes you rethink the possibilities for local. Think, wait, I can also host this again. Mind blown. Multi-res, subdivide, subdivide. All right. So now, put on wireframe. So I can see what parts of this I'm playing with. Actually, I'm gonna give it like a, might be too late. Club. Smack you with the club. About 77 billion parameter version 11.3 running on my fat machine. Fast machine. I gotta case swap that one and stuff it in my basement now. I do really love the idea of having a very capable personal assistant. I've been looking a lot more into like crew AI lately. That's kind of really caught my attention. Probably the only thing I've experimented with recently. I'd love to get some agents that could go and handle messaging for me and things like that. But maybe, I do believe they mentioned Ollama integration, so I think that with the crew AI stuff. So that's probably very feasible to do. Let's look up tree trunk. Wooden club. Got my lumping stick. You got multiple GPUs. I got one 3090. Think about getting another for one of the sweet token. For sweet token per second boost. Agent structures are getting so good. They are. They really are. I like the idea of Crew AI, but not without ChatGPT then. Just on GitHub, it supports Ollama. It does. Didn't try it yet. Thought it was ChatGPT key only, but it isn't. I was able to get it to work with Anthropic, Haiku, which is nice. I don't know if you guys are looking at just purely open source stuff, but Haiku is just so much cheaper and has some comparable quality. So I was checking that out. My thumping stick. Give him the wumpa thumping. The wumpa thumpa. Actually, I'm gonna get some water. I'll be right back. Agua for me. Oh yeah, got some ice. It's water. Frustrating how big those LM models get compared to available VRAM for consumer GPUs. I guess it's also a gift to be able to run everything on CPU plus RAM for now. That looks somewhat like wood, I guess. Did Orca go belly up, by the way? I never heard those, but those started out as the lightweight champs, as far as I know. Season Dolphins Wrangler, I have no clue if those are related models. I bet they got. I mean, the thing about those smaller models, the moment a team comes out with those, like, really performant smaller models, they get. All that talent gets poached. Basically, like, people going, please hire me. Dolphin's still kicking. Well, Llama got jailbroken like 16 hours after release. Llama 3 got jailbroken, and a Dolphin Uncensored model released like 4-ish days after. Hit him with the lumpy stick. Hit him with the lumpy stick. I'm practicing my ogre impression for when I hit you guys with the lumpy stick. Cool. And then we'll say shape, apply. Not the lumpy stick. Dear, not the lumpy stick. Free. If I get the chance, I'm gonna sell my hardware lol. Need to move over to an ARM machine so I can play with the big models. Alright, we're gonna come back to this. I think it's time to go ahead and hop into Resonite. Because we've already got some weapons to play around with. Mostly just wanted to experiment with my multi-res workflow, which... Alright, I need some sleep. Hope to chat with you guys tomorrow. Bye-bye. Sounds good, Electro. See you tomorrow. Get some good rest. Good night. Bye! Okay, let's make sure our Goblin and Ogre are fully exported with the latest versions. Alright, sorry. Ogre. I'm Ogre it. Alright. Then we'll go to... Hey, hold on. Was that Fox Otter person from YouTube chat earlier an old Neos person / Resonite, a community helper kind of role? This is my first time interacting with Jack, but I believe Jack Otter Resonite. I believe so. I think this is one of my first times interacting with him. Um, all right, FBX. Gabo 01, humanoid, fix rig. Animations, none. Boom, boom. Sport. All right. So now we have those exported. I want to go to the GLTF. Goblins GLTF, delete these. We'll do the first one, import FBX. Actually, we'll make a collection. Ogre. Actually, Ogre 01. File, import FBX. Ogre. Just random thought name popped up in my head somehow. I think you're correct, though. I think you're correct. And now we'll select this character, export a GLTF. And this should be named Goblins. Or no, just Ogre 01 GLB. New collection, Goblin 01. Goblin. And then we'll do import FBX. Gabo. Darn. Never mind. Delete the hierarchy. Drag this out into the scene. And I'm going to rename this Goblin Ogre. Should be Goblins GLTF underscore Ogre. And then we'll do another Goblin GLTF underscore one. Bam. Delete everything in here. Import that FBX for the Goblin. Take everything, export the GLTF. And now it should be Goblin 01 GLB. Export. Okay, very good. Now let's hop into Resonate. Yeah. Yeah. Bam, 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 bam. Ding, 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 ding. Oh. Come on. And we can turn the sound down here. All right, I'm in. I keep expecting the VR chat login sounds. The VR chat loading music triggers my motion sickness. I'm been trained to relate the two. Funny. All right, so we're going to import our dudes. We'll start with the goblin. Goblin these. 3D model, regular avatar, meters. I think it's fine actually. Just run import. Oh yeah, actually I want to go to the bottom and position at origin. Oh. My job. Look at him. There he is. There he is. Someone is asking about setting up avatars in Neos, and this is the process. You import the model, slap a headset on the character. And then we'll make sure the headset's lined up. Line head forward, up, right, center. Put the hand back. There. A little bit bigger. And I think that's pretty good. Is there a way to snap the gizmos to the bones? Just the head. So you can try to align the hands, but when you align the head here, use the first four options, and you have symmetry on, that means that the left hand, that the left and right hand are mirrored exactly, and that the headset's as centered as it can be. And usually that's all you really need. Now, got our little goblin. Dance for me, goblin. Dance. And then we'll open our menu, inventory, assets, enemies. And that did save, right? Yes. So we'll go stick him over here somewhere. Good. That feels about the right size for Gremlin. His textures came out really nice. These better be the 2K textures. They might be 4K, actually. Which is alright, but a little too much. Alright. Judgmental goblin. How dare you? Go die! Falling. But I like. He definitely looks goblin. Okay, so now I'm going to import my ogre. This is all kind of temporary because I'm going to have to bring them all back in again. Also, if anyone wants to join, you're welcome to. My world should be open now. Oh, wow, that's different. Session. Oh, it says private only. How do I change that? Contacts. Contacts plus. Now change the maximum users. Save changes. I believe that should. I liked about Resonate. It's so easy to slap something in there and wear your new suit. Can't even use a 3D pen to write in VR. I have no hope to set up an Avi in it. With what the it does the one thing I do dislike or that I struggle with is just all the hotkeys because everything's in the hands, but it doesn't always feel very intuitive. There he is. There he is. Yeah, it definitely feels pretty big. I have that when using my index controller with Protoflux stuff. Confuses me, always has, always will. Hopefully it gets simpler, or there's some nicer changes, but it still feels pretty worth it. The trade-offs still feel pretty worth it to me. It's bigger. And it gets simpler the more I use it. That's an easy thing to say though. Yeah. Oh, I didn't set up the tooltips for the goblin. That's what I forgot. Skin hasn't loaded in yet. Nor his hair. His eyes did, though. Didn't they? Didn't they? Yeah. Yeah. Oh, he's blinking, though. Alright, so if I equip him. Oh! Still fly on. Yeah. Chungus. Give me weapons. Bonk, bonk, bonk. Doesn't appear that my texture is loaded in. But it is fun to pick up the gobbo. Ah! Oh, there we go. I loaded. My texture is finally loaded. Crush gobbo. Oh man, you can make destructible limbs in this. The sizing feels really good though. Oh, can I move this at all? No. Nice. Didn't know it was that kind of stream. Time for get some rest. Oh, later, Snardum. Enjoy your day. Was about to leave, stayed for the vor. I tried to set one up back in early Neoscape and tried to do it on desktop. Went even worse. By the way, can't remember what said before. How does setting up chests work in Resonite if you don't use bones? Two objects you smush together in game or something like vertex groups? So this chest over here. Sorry, let me switch out of this avatar. 1 second. Inventory. Hi, buddy. So this chest here. Tools. Lagging. All right. So if I equip this, then I have it. You can see that the top here hinges. This is something Snardom set up. But you can't see it at all because I have my camera on. Okay, should be back to my personal view. But so you can see we can move this chest up and down just by grabbing it. I don't even need to use my pointer for that. I could just go up and grab it manually. And then if I open it by going in here, open inspector, deselect it, go to the top of this. Now I have my inspector. You'll see that these are all just meshes. And then this, so the lid is just a mesh renderer and mesh collider that has a joint. The joint determines how far it can open or close. And the box is right here. It's a mesh render. And then there's also the button, which is the little key piece there. So there's no bones here, but they are technically separate objects. Multiple meshes, gotcha, exactly. But the joint's really interesting to me. So this says joint. This is something I'll have to figure out as well. Max swing, max twist. 90 degrees. Oh. Anyway, but you can do stuff, close it, of course. You have two meshes, one is lid, one is box. Joint component locks rotations on origin. You can adjust and resonate with an empty, but it helps setting up the pivot point in Blender. Technically, you could just keep the mesh to be the pivot point as well. But it's all the same. It's all the same. What are you looking at? What are you looking at? It doesn't feel quite as big as I expected him to, but that's okay. joint. Have fun. I will. Did you import the shields yet? I have not yet, Arctic. I have not yet, but I will soon. We'll soon. Box collider. Snap orientations. I would assume that this determines how far we can bend it. Say 180. Yeah. If I switch it back to 90. So it's 90 degrees from that axis, either 90 degrees backwards or 90 degrees front. Okay. Cool. Now, how does it know where it's turning? So this is not the object that's turning. The lid is actually what's moving. The joint, the pivot point's not doing anything. Interesting. Okay, good to know. And look at the stuff Namor's brought in. We've got a mushroom. Bunch of stuff. Little mushy mushroom. And I did actually figure out the pivot, the sword stuff on how to do this. We can actually just delete these. Oh, why am I doing that? Oh. Oop. That must be new. Boom. Destroy. Sword. You can go over there. Oh, wow. Wow, look at that. Huh. Did it always cast a light? That looks so good. I feel like it didn't. That's my first time noticing it. Huh. It's nice. Okay. All right, ogre. Come over. Come ogre here. Thank you. Awesome stuff. Alrighty. So, feel tired all of a sudden. Just cleaning up my stuff. He doesn't feel as tall as I thought he would. 6 feet? Or am I just extra tall right now? There we go. Reset scale. Okay. That makes more sense. I was like, man, that's weird. That makes way more sense. All right. So, here's our die. So if I had an encounter, say some gobos. Womp, 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 womp. Gobbo here. Gobbo here. Here. And here. So we got the 3 Gabbos. And I'll take one of you. His legs look pretty good, actually. All right, I need to stand up. Ugh. One second. Sometimes when I'm using virtual desktop, just one of the eyes starts glitching really badly. I have to reset it. Okay, so let's say we'll have some villagers helping me here. She's gone. Actually, I guess I could just put them. She'll be up here. We're gonna save the old lady or something. Maybe she's a wizard. Then you'll be the adventurer. Put her really quick. So she's standing. Did she scale or did I scale? All right, good stuff. So if I wanted to, on my way, let's say, what would be nice is to know how far is 30 feet, right? Make a should be able to just join the world. I want to make a dev tool. So create a new light point. I grab it. Interesting. So let's say right up here. Just because it's so dark back there. Hello! Hello, Nami. Welcome. So, what we'd like to figure out is like some basic combat. So, we did initiative. So that's okay. Right off the bat, a few things I want to make. So I can import stuff, right? Yeah, go right ahead. Can't remember what you called the grumpy gal, so I've internally named her April. I'm dying, Nemes. I'm dying. I'm gonna make a little list here. So we want to we need initiative. Would be very nice to make track of. Take track of. Not the right phrase. Initiative would be nice. Distance measuring would be good. Sort of way to measure the distance of things. Which I believe. Oh, why do I still see this light? Oh. I'll have to figure out a better way to make lights because that's annoying. Do for some reason. Oh, a little platform, very cool. Oh, there you go. So, we would want to be able to keep track of initiative somehow. Easiest way to do that right now would just be to take a UI preset and a text field, right? Yes. You just say, all right, so goblin, this person, this one. Seems like a lot of work right now. So something simpler would be really nice. And roll. All right. Oh, right. And then a measurement tool is what I wanted to find out. Information tools, measure tool. So from here to here. Okay. Classic. Resonant. A ghost! How dare you? Whoa, little wizard tower. Check it out, everyone. Nami's wizard tower. Look at that. Super cool. I want to go inside of it. I'm in. Oh. Grabbed it. And go up to the balcony too. Oh, you had a mesh collider just now? Get off my lawn! Get off my lawn! Fucking dope. Let's take a picture of that. How do I do that again? There's a way to do like this. Well, there's a shortcut to do it. Spot camera. Ooh-doo-doo. Oh. Oh, nice. Good picture of myself. All right, get a picture of the photo. Boom. You want to pose in front of your tower, Naomi? Yeah, go stand in front. I'll take a picture. Let's see, gotta get a good view. Ooh. Perfect. Hey, there we go. Wizard Tower with Naomi. Can I turn that to run into my wall? All right. Okay, perfect. We'll leave it there for now. Is that other photo floating in somewhere? Yeah. Awesome. The wall grows. Okay, so now I wanted to see how to measure things. I have my measure tool here. I can measure in world space or mode array. Measure in world space. So if I say here to there, where does that measurement go? Oh. Particular. Well, all right. There we go. Drag. Centimeters. All right. So I want something like this, but auto converting it to oh wait, let's see. Now if I move here, I can't see the length though. Just stuck there. 8 meters. All right. I'm gonna sit back down again. Ah. Okay. That's not the most useful tool. What I would want is to create a tool. We'll want like some player. We'll want to create some player equipment. So this one's okay, but it's certainly not in controller diagnostic tool, label tool. Actually, let's see that. If I went here, I just put on this character a label. I can say 1. I know which order this guy is going to move in. Cool. That's actually pretty useful. Not necessarily ideal to have this stuck to his head, but That sure gets the point across. So I could go in and label a bunch of stuff. Can I delete the labels with this? No. I can just point at things and make a label. Interesting. Okay. Still, very good. And that's even better because I could always add more status effects to him. You just decide to make the one movement, tiles one movement each. Maybe somehow you could link it so people can select the tile to move to. All this seems very complicated to me, to be honest. My hope is to make it just simpler. I want it to feel more like playing a board game than a video game, because I think that will make the systems a lot simpler. So I think what we'll do is make something that will just create a radius around me. Like if I was sitting here, I would create a radius of 30 feet. And it'd be like anything in that 30-foot space move to. Easier said than done, though. It's funny to have this label stuck on it. He moves one in the turn order. But now I could go around and label each one. Oh, and that'll make it really nice. So I could do initiative for everyone. I need to fix this one really quick. So keep my multi-tool back. And multi-tool, common, dev tool. Open inspector. Up. And the positioning of these files. Still wants to rotate way down there. Why is that? How does if I select this one? Nope. Interesting. What I need to do is create an object right here. Take this one. Right here. Should just be able to say set. 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 Everything's default for this point now. Goblin. Goblin. Where'd my dice go? And then bring it to me. And then bring this to me. The fudge. Oh, did I set the scale to 1? create pivot at center. Let's seem to want to do that. Gotta head off now. It's almost 10 p.m. here. I need to grab myself some food. Good luck with sorting out the game systems. Thank you, Arctic. We'll catch you later. Bye. Bye. Alright, well, I need to fix this dice somehow. So what we'll do, make a parent above it. Here. Here. Still set to some odd scale though. Okay, now it's much bigger. Can't drag any. Come over here, please. All right. Where's the pivot? There we go. All right. Nice. Then I can take these and drop them all here. That should make it so. Oh, I see. Now this, right. Delete this. Oh, come on. Why can't I grab it? Edge component. Bam, bam. Transform. Interaction. Grabbable. There. All right. Now I got this. Mom! Perfect. You can go clubbing. Now if I select the whole thing and I press trigger, it wants to orient that way. Which is very goofy. If I go here and I say reset this, it's going to do that. But now I have a lot more control on setting these up. Okay, this is how we're going to do it. This is how we're going to do it. I can't reset. It's a focus thing, whatever. P100, move it down. Then text field, reset position and rotation to the side. Oops. Can't grab it. One. Then dice logic, I am going to set position and rotation. And here, D4, position, rotation, up, scale to. Six, position, rotation, scale. Eight. Getting messy. I really should just position change. Set. Give it to me. And give it to me. Okay. 6. First position. 6. Position. All right. A lot of work, but it's going to look a lot cleaner. And then I'll actually, the main problem was that I wasn't able to manipulate the object. And that means I can't press buttons, which is a real big issue. Real big issue. Real big. Position, rotation, and there's a little Gabo. What's he doing? Just hanging. He's just chilling. Oh shit! Are you making this? You have, yeah. Well, Shadow scared me. Shadow scared the fuck out. What? Damn. Damn. Okay, almost. Almost. All right, then the clear button. We will there's got to be a better way to set all this up, but I'm a bit of a masochist, so we will live. Okay. So now I should be able to deselect all. I can grab this. It's still kind of messy, but that's okay. I'm going to take the top parent. I'm going to set the scale to 0.5. Then do that for all of these. So now it's a reasonable size. Again, deselect, grab it, open my menu. Oh. I'd like to not have the legacy menu. Here. Inventory, Resonite Essentials. It's the assets, RP, and we have our brand new one. Okay, which is our D20. Yay! All right, now I can actually move this around without fear of it breaking. Good. No widgets. See. Okay, so that way I could. Man, what would be cool is to have this poop out a text. This was their range, but really need is a way for everyone. Yeah, we would just have to do it by hand. Everyone rolls a number, they keep track of it, and then I give them. And I make a list. All right. Things should be pretty simple. Gobble on the ceiling. I'm a gobble on the ceiling. The avatar. So, put this in my wrist. See, I think I'd want to turn this into a tool later. Okay, let's just say I have a sword. I have a sword. Got my dice. Bum, bum. And I could roll d20, boom, a 9, and I miss. All right, pretty simple. Need particle effects based on the success of the roll. Future. That would be nice. That would be nice. And probably make it appear for everyone, no matter where they are, so everyone can know what each other's rolling. He did. Does it still work? Should snap. All right, that's pretty simple. And I just need a better way to track movement, I think. How do I track better? Because I need to be sitting here as a player and go, oh, I could go there or there or there. So having some sort of tool. What if each person had like a local HUD float in front of them that keeps track of things? One that can toggle on and off. So many ideas. I love that. I love that idea though. I mean, genuinely, that would be like preferable. But right now, I think I would just like, as the DM, be like, okay, no one else can fly, and I would just have my menus up here. I would just like leave my menus floating up here with some notes. So I'd be up here, like new text. Sort of too low level. Have one of these. Resonite Essentials. Actually, yeah, why don't I turn on no clip? And I could Scaling. Good. Be big. Oh, wow. That's fast. Tools. UI presets for sure. Yeah, and I think what I would do is actually just put in like player names. I'd be like Shiloh. I'd do one for each goblin. One. And then ogre. And I would just have my list here. Wow, this is too fast. Push myself out. Hello. Well, I lagged. These are huge. Yeah, I think I would just take these and quite literally put them in a spot that the players couldn't see. If I had both of these, I would just go up here and place them up here. And that way I could get a full view that the players couldn't. So I'd be like, okay, let's go. I think somehow I'm able to click it and it sets it to true. Not the first time that's happened. Anyway. Shiloh. That way I could do my initiative this way. And it's nice because then I could just literally manipulate it physically. Okay. I like that. And then I could also be like, oh, this guy, he's over here now. The goblin rushes towards you. Oh, that's weird. Lands over here. It'd be easy enough to just fly down. Actually, what would be even better is to just leave an avatar here. And I could just fly into one. And now I'm this guy. And I could go over and move over here. And then I could go back to him. Oh. Weird. I guess that doesn't work every time. Also, did it make this guy bigger? Why is he bigger now? I guess it scales you into an avatar. That's kind of silly. Yeah, so shouldn't I be smaller now? I guess I'm just a normal size now. Saw it scale up. Yeah, he's definitely bigger. Small again. I guess we'll just view. All right, new goblin. We're learning a lot. We're learning a lot. So something about, did I have scaling enabled? I think I did when I first did it. So now I'm curious if And then when I go into an avatar, see, that time I swapped positions and I scaled down. So I'm smaller now. But what happens when I go back? So now I want to go back to this one. But that time it didn't teleport. So what's different then? When I go to this one, then I teleport to this guy. If I go to this guy, I teleport him to me. But if I'm in a goblin and I go to another goblin, I teleport. So I can go back and forth between these guys. Fine. Which that's what I prefer. Because I'd love to have one up there that I can go back to every single time. So I guess for now, we will have a dupli goblin flying around up there so that I can be up here. I guess I should make a platform for myself. Well, the goblin hands feel huge. All right, but that's good. So now I could hop back and forth between a few quite easily. Awesome. All right, good to know. That way I can go, I want to be in this avatar. Oh, and then then I switch to this guy. And then this guy. And I can be this guy now. Okay, I like that. What happens if I teleport to the upside down? So just do that. What's interesting is that guy has fly enabled. But if I teleport to him, I'm gonna fall. So it doesn't save the stuff. Just a little sick. All right. You gotta work on before teleport poses. I know, right? I wish I could just hop out of an avatar. Pose and then exit avatar. I don't see any options for that. Okay. So general game plan will be to have each player is gonna have a dice roller. And I'll be flying up here for any extra information that I don't want to share with the players. I will literally keep away from them in the most physical sense. Then again, it would be nicer to have a better measuring tool. That's really all that I'm missing. I think if we just had a better measuring tool, that would be it. Cool. Can I not make it over this as the goblin? Barely. Other goblins. Nice goblin dance. Not a lot of gestures either. So one other thing I want to figure out is actually, yeah, let's see really quick. If I take my tool, actually, I'd like to be this avatar. I take my tool here and we equip it. I click. Ooh, let me open the inspector. So 4. It's like, is that your hand? Like, where's his hand? No, we are IK here. That's fine. What I would like to find is if there's any sort of avatar settings, avatar group. We are IK avatar. Actually, again, everything would be fine if I could just exit. Only why some of their eyes follow me. I don't know. They're either looking at me or you. It seems like, or one of the other avatars, I guess. Not sure. Now that's a butt. They look good though. Some of their sizing, some of the size proportion stuff between them is really weird. It's probably going to be hard to get an intuition for. It's good to know that the number just stayed stuck to them. And okay, let me Google search that really quick. How can I just exit an avatar? I don't want to delete it. I just would like to exit the avatar. So let's go to Google. Say Resonite exit avatar. I guess I could send Jack a message. All right, but I think we're actually super close to a super close to being able to do a play session, at least a really basic one. Yeah, I'd love to be able to exit an avatar while posed. Do a cool pose, exit it, go to another avatar, and make them act, do things with them, leave them in a pose, go to another avatar. That seems sick. It seems sick. This guy's huge. So I didn't see anything on Resonite there. Maybe there's some kind of delay you can set somehow. That would be nice. Even just some standard poses. I'm sure it's all doable, knowing how to do it though. Knowing how to do it. It's a different question. Ugh. All right, we got another 30 minutes, then I'll be calling it here for this stream. But we're making super good progress. I'm 90% sure we'll be able to finish all the armor and weapons tomorrow in the morning. So that's going super quick. We need to find a proto-gen. Oh, excuse me. So in here, interesting. WebP file is more optimized than a PNG. Resonite exit avatar or remove avatar. Leave avatar. take off avatar.
Hi, I'm Jatsy. You don't know me and that's okay. In the last video, I showed you how to import a new outfit for your avatar and set that up and kind of get that set as your default outfit. I also showed you how to delete meshes and bones that you don't really want anymore. Today we're going to go over some toggles. So things like being able to turn your tool shelves on and off, being able to turn individual parts of an outfit on and off. And if we have enough time, we'll import another outfit and show you how to cycle between different outfits. So let me put you guys inside my head and we'll get back to work. So here we have the model that we worked on yesterday. I didn't adjust any of the blend shapes. This is kind of just after we got the outfit on. Nothing to worry about for right now. The first thing that we're going to do is we're going to set up stuff within our context menu to give us like this view button that I have here on mine
Oh,
and some of these options in here.
I love that.
So over here I have an inspector that's kind of opened up onto the root node of the avatar. So I'm going to go ahead and select that root node. I'm going to create a new child of the root node. And we're going to name this could be toggles, customizations, whatever you want to name it. So go ahead and do that. Toggles. Now, under toggles, you're going to do attach component. You're going to go to Radiant UI, context menu, root context menu item. We're also going to need a context menu item source and a context menu submenu. I'll pull this up here. So here you can see we have a couple components that we've just added into the toggle slot. Don't worry that name hasn't changed yet. It will once we're done updating. So under the root context menu item, we're going to physically grab context menu item source, and we're going to drop that under item. Under label, we're just going to copy this to say whatever we name the slot. Again, whatever you want to name it. If you want to change the color of the button, I leave mine white, but if you want to change the color, you can do that there where it says color. And then under context menu submenu, we are going to take the toggles slot, so the actual slot, and we're going to make that the root of the context menu submenu. What that's going to do is that's going to give you the button here, and then we're going to build this part of it here, but it gives you that initial button and kind of like the next step in it, so to speak. So the next thing that we're going to do is we're going to create a child of this slot that we just made. And first we're going to set up the toggle for our tool shelves. So I'm just going to call this slot tool shelf. Tool shelf. So on the tool shelf.
Oh, this is so cool. Okay, this is great. This is actually so good because I could embed all the dice menus directly into the avatars, and you could just toggle it right then and there. So easy. Okay.
Couple components. Get rid of the old component browser. So within the component browser, we're going to go to two different sections. The first one, though, is going to be Radiant UI, where we went before, context menu, and context menu item source. We're going to go back, and now we're going to go under Com UI. We're going to go under drivers, value option description driver. It might hurt the first time that it opens it. Now, you're going to see a bunch of different options here. There's three kind of like main ones to worry about. There's bool, which is right here. Bool, like I mentioned before, it's just an on-off true-false statement. That's all it is. Yes or no. There is int. Int is whole numbers. 1, 2, 3, 4, so on. And then the last one is float. Those are kind of like your three basic primary value types. A float is a decimal. 0.2, 0.75, 1.5, anything that's not a whole number is a float. So toggling the on-off state of our tool shelves, you put that back on there, is just a true-false, on or off. That's all it is. So we're going to do a bool value option description driver. We're going to go back again, button interactions, and button toggle. We're going to need two of those. One for the left hand, one for the right hand. So under context menu item source, rather than changing this label to just say the same thing over and over and over again, we're actually going to grab where it says label. We're going to drop that into the label field on the value option description driver. You can see now it's turned purple. That means it's being driven, which basically means that it's being affected by something other than itself. We're also going to take color. We're going to drop color into the color slot on the value option description driver. We can see that's also being driven now too. Now, under here, in this very first section that we have, we see label. And I'm just going to call it tool shelf on. Tool shelf on. And I'm going to make the button for it green. So we can see that these driven values have automatically been updated. So the button itself is going to say tool shelf on, and the button is going to be green. I'm going to go down here to options and add a new one. And I'm just going to call this tool shelf off. So to save myself some time, I'm going to grab the name here, drop it there, and then just switch the N to 2Fs. And then color, I'm going to make that red. So what this is going to do effectively is when we turn our tool shelves off, the button's going to turn red. That's all we're doing is this action right here. All right. So now we got to find the tool shelves on our avatar. The tool shelves live on your hand bone. So I grab armature, and we're going to go down our armature. We'll start with the left one just because it's the first one that we see. I'm going to refocus the hierarchy to the hand. And we're going to look for tool shelf anchor. So we found the tool shelf anchor. Like I said, it lives on your hand bone. And right now, the active is set to off. It's set to off because there's nobody inside the avatar. If I was to hop in, these would become active. Regardless, it doesn't matter. I'm going to grab this active. I'm going to come over to this tool shelf button that we made. I'm going to go down to the button toggle, and I'm going to drop it under one of the button toggles. And then I'm also going to drop it, if I not literally drop it, but I'm also going to drop it under the value on our value option description driver. When I do that, now you can see this button now says the tool shelf is off, and it's red because there's nobody inside. Now we go up to our armature again, and I'm going to go to the right hand tool shelf. Oh, a little too far. Shoulder, lower arm. Let's refocus on the right hand. Tool shelf anchor. And now the active slot for the other hand, I'm just going to put that in the other button toggle. It may seem a little bit confusing because you're saying, well, we have two button toggles, why wouldn't we have two value option description drivers? Because the value option description driver just tells the button what to say. So the context menu item source is the button itself, is this thing here. The value option description driver tells this button what it needs to display. So since we're turning both tool shelves on and off at the same time, we only need to tell the value option description driver when one of them is off, because we're
All right.
going to work under the assumption that when one's on.
I'll have to come back to that, but super good stuff. If I'm able to do that, then I could embed in each character a menu, or at least a dice roller that you could turn on and off. That still doesn't answer my question of if I can exit an avatar. So I think that's really, but that can't be the whole quest, the whole enchilada, because if I could just swap between avatars, I'd be fine with that. Okay, so common avatar system. I can also provide avatar protections. Awesome. All right. I have a lot more questions there. If I'm able to spend some time working with Jack tomorrow, I think I get a lot of those questions answered. So, dap me up. Huh, I can't grab that. I can't grab anything. My left click isn't working for some reason. Oh, but that club is going to work perfectly. See, what's so cool about that multi-res workflow on Namers is just like with what you have here, we just slap on a multi-res. You can go in and sculpt as much detail as you want, but you can just make a low poly into a high poly sculpture like super easy. So I think it's going to be a great workflow, both for me and anyone else. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I'm still confused on why some of the avatars I can swap into and some I cannot. Let's do, I think I'm going to do a little bit of exploring. I'm going to see if there's other tools out there. Or maybe, let me look on the wiki really quick. So if I go to the Resonite wiki again, and they have tools and community tools. Users can share their tools to the use of public folders. Community maintain list of public folders. This folder contains a variety of essentials that are useful for new and experienced users alike. So what happens if I copy this, paste it? Okay, click it. Let me click. Free. Okay, let's give that a shot. Ugh. Folder? Set be a folder. Let me go back to the menu. Actually, I'm curious. Can I just straight up copy and paste this web page? That'd be even better. That was when I clicked that. Ah, it just opens up in Firefox. Sorry, I wanted to check. All right. So, Solar contains a variety. You add a folder here. Actually essential tools. Ancients of Resonite. There are a lot of folders. Wow. Okay. FPS items. Interesting. Edo Japan, Egypt, Greater Japan Public. Excuse me. Let's try the actually essential. You paste this. I can. All right. So let's take this. Copy. Pasting any of these links into the game, either base. This page contains a list of useful public folders created and submitted by the community. Pasting any of these links into the game will import them. So does that mean I already have them? I'm confused. It's missing again, of course. So, do I now have these in my folder inventory? I don't see it there. So, let's go back here and paste. Paste. Try home menu. Paste. Nothing. Okay, so it didn't copy. Let's try this again. This one. Copy. Paste. Paste. Get URL? No. Let's actually see. If let me go back. If I select this and say get URL, I must have copied it there. All right, so I copied this one. Wait, that just pasted the wiki. Nothing. Inventory link. It even has it here. So how do I use that? Just gives me this little thing floating in the world? Surely it's got to be more than that. Please connect again. Fuck. It says it, I'm looking around. Not tracking my headset and stuff though. Alright. This is probably a good point to, well, I don't want to end it. Like, there's more I want to learn. There's more I want to learn. Alright, but let's look up some tutorials. Oh, Nammers, I just exited. Sorry, I hit Alt F4. I did not think about that. I'll have to be careful about that in the future. I think you should be fine for a second or two, but I was just stuck. I couldn't do anything, so. All right. So here's what we want to do. Resonate, create tool. I specifically want to learn how to make tools, the ones you pick up and equip. Because what I'm thinking is that I will want to make like a D&D tool. Probably something that has a dice on it, like a single die. Well, or can spawn a dice menu. And this is what I'll embed into the avatars, is make a tool, embed it. Hopefully I could update the tool separately, like a prefab, so all my avatars would always have the latest tool. But who knows? All right. But this is cool, like custom brushes. Object placer tools, that kind of stuff is exactly what I want here. They even have a projectile system template. Okay, so these are all the things I would want. Projectiles, health systems, weapons. But there's no examples here. Nice. Okay, I think at this point, it would be good to call it a day, because if I'm able to hang out with Jack tomorrow, I feel like I can probably get 99% of my questions answered, and we'll be making really good stuff by the end of the day. So I think we'll call it here for today. And tomorrow we'll get back into the swing of things. My main priority will be just learning Resonite. Being in Resonite, learning Resonite as much as possible. I'll probably set up a different view, so I get rid of my webcam when I'm in VR and the ad here. There's not really a need for all this space taken up if I'm rarely in frame perfectly. So, but we are going to call it here today. Thank you everyone for hanging out with me. It's been a good day. Can't believe we've been just powering through making these avatars. I like, we're on course to be making like an avatar a day at this point. I think we can start making like packs of characters. And I'm hoping to have the Goblin and Ogre up for sale by Monday, because we're gonna be moving at a rip roaring pace. Anyway, thank you all for hanging out. Hope everyone's having an amazing Thursday. Again, I'll be back all day tomorrow. Mostly gonna be Resonite tomorrow. But if you're interested in hopping in, seeing what I'm up to, hanging out and making things, definitely stay tuned. But thank you, everyone. I'll see y'all soon. Bye, Nammers. Bye, everyone else that's lurking. See you soon. Bye. Bye, y'all.